Hey guys, today I wanted to make a video on showing equations of line on a grid, because when we do break even for small business, we're going to need to have some understanding of that, and you would have had varying experience with it. You wouldn't have done it at all if you were in 11 Maths App, because you simply weren't asked to do it, and not required by SACE, unfortunately, whereas Maths Studies kids would have done a little bit of it and would understand it a little bit already. So let's get started anyway. Any straight line can be represented as an equation with a Cartesian grid. So that's one of these. Where the x-axis goes along the bottom, y-axis goes along the top, and the numbers increase regularly. And this is because equations of lines show the value of y for any value of x. So let's say the equation of a line, an equation is anything with an equal sign, and something on the left-hand side, something on the right-hand side of it. Let's say the equation was y is equal to x. So that would be a line. And let's have a think. If we're saying y is equal to x, that's a relationship between y and x, then when x equals 1, y must equal 1 as well. Because we said y is equal to x, whatever x is. And then when x is equal to 2, y must equal 2 as well, because y is equal to x. Y is equal to 3 when x is equal to 3. Y is equal to 4 when x is 4, and y is equal to 5 when x is 5. And so that gives us a way to put points on the grid, a point at x being 1 and also y being 1 at the same time. And how do we do that? Well, if this is representing the values of x, well, x being 1 is over here, and at the same time y being 1 is along there, so the point we're talking about is at the intersection of those two. So our first point of that line, y is equal to x, would be there. Now, the next point in the line is x is equal to 2 when y is also equal to 2. So x2, y2 is going to be there. x3, y3 is going to be here. x4, y4 is going to be there. x5, y5 is going to be there. And those coordinates are actually, I should do it properly, those coordinates are represented by coordinates put in a bracket, and x is said first. It'll be 1, 1 is the first one, and then 2, 2 is the second one, 3, 3 is the third one, 4, 4 is the fourth one, 5, 5 is the fifth one. So we have a set of lines here, a set of points here, representing the equation of the line y is equal to x, and obviously that would go on forever. If x is equal to 6, y would equal 6, x is 7, y is equal to 7, so that would continue on. But right now we have enough points to establish this line. Okay, and I'll tell you, right now all we're dealing with is straight lines in maths, so really, in this particular Maths for Small Business, so all you'll need is 2 points to establish the relationship. We've set up 5 here, and hopefully I draw it straight, not too straight, but we'll manage. That should be going through all the corners, okay? But hopefully you can see that is a line drawn through the points we have plotted for the equation y is equal to x. Now a more complicated one, I'll do it in red. Y is equal to 3 x's plus 4. So you have to have a little calculation here and work out what y is going to be when x is equal to 1. Y is going to be something, a function of x. So we've said y is going to be whatever number 3 times x is plus 4. If we're saying x is 1, 3 times by 1 is 3, plus 4 is equal to 7. So for this first one, it's going to be 3 times by 1 plus 4, that's going to be 3 plus 4, it's going to be 7. So when x is equal to 1, we actually calculated that y is going to be 7. So that is the first point of that second line. Next we have x is equal to 2, and we have to work out what y is going to be when x is equal to 2. 3, 2 plus 4. 3 times 2 is going to be 6, plus 4, that's going to be 10. So when x is equal to 2, y is going to be 10. So there we have 2 points. Now obviously you're going to notice we're not going to have the rest of the grid to draw the other lines, but I'll still calculate it. Y is going to be, when 3 is x, x is equal to 3, 3 by 3 plus 4. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 is going to be 13. And then so on and so on. You can work that out, that's quite easy. Okay, but I told you we can establish a line with only 2 points. However, one more interesting thing is we can certainly draw a line through here, but can we establish whether the relationship continues? Well, we can work out what y is going to be when x is equal to 0 by substituting that in. So let's do that off to the side. Y is equal to 3, x is equal to 0. What is 3 times y 0? 0 plus 4, that's going to be 4. So when x is equal to 0, y is going to be 4. So we have another point actually on the line, even though we couldn't extend it beyond the grid vertically. So there are our 2 lines. And overall, especially for the people who have done math studies, what you can say is that if you see an equation of this form, y is equal to mx plus c, you'll see that that's similar to what we have here. Y is equal to something times by x plus something else. If you have an equation in that form, that can actually represent a straight line. That is an equation of a straight line where m is the slope of the line, where it's rise over run. We'll clear that up later. And c is the y-intercept, or where the line crosses the y-axis. So let's try and work out what I mean by this slope, rise over run. And we're only going to be able to see that, well, we can see it from both actually, but we'll be able to see it clearer looking here. We've said any equation in the form of y is equal to something x plus something else is actually the equation of a straight line, and the number being multiplied by x represents the slope, and it's rise over run. Now let's have a look at the slope of this line here. If I draw that out there and that down there, how much has the line gone up for the one step across? It has gone up 3 up for the one across, and we said the m, which is the slope, is the rise over run. Well, the rise was 3 over the run, which is going to be 3, like we have there. Okay, so that's what the slope is, just representing the number as a fraction. And to be honest, you can actually see that in this line as well. If I pick there and there, it's going across 1 for the one step up, and the rise over run is going to be 1 over 1 is equal to 1. And our equation for the blue line was y is equal to x. What could we put in there? That's invisible, that wouldn't change anything. 1, because 1 times by x is still going to be x. Okay, so that's why the rule works. So as we go into the break-even points, where we're representing sales and costs as lines, we're going to be using this idea, maybe with bigger numbers, not just 3 and 4 and stuff, but hopefully this video lets you understand how straight lines can be represented in an equation and then drawn onto a grid, using the fact that this is the slope and this is where it crosses the y-axis, as you'll see. plus 4 here, where you've said that's the y-intercept. Where does it cross the y-axis? At plus 4. So hopefully that's clear, and hopefully we can move on to the next thing. It is going to be difficult for people who haven't done this sort of math, especially if you've been a maths apps, gone through straight with maths apps, but with this video it should simplify and help you out for the exercises upcoming.